Evelyn, Evie, Jackson, a failed artist in New York City, works as a freelance caterer with her closest friend Grace. When Evie gets a DNA test, she learns Oliver Alexander is a distant relative who lives in England. Oliver, who she encounters, informs her about the scandal surrounding her great-grandmother Emmeline's secret child with a black footman. She receives an invitation to a forthcoming English wedding from him. Evie checks into the new Carfax Abbey in Whitby, where she is greeted by Mrs. Swift, the estate's long-standing maid, and Walter DeVille, the lord of the manor. Along with the maids of honor, affable Lucy and condescending Victoria, she also gets to know the rest of the Alexander family. Evie gradually starts to discover unpleasant happenings when she is there. Emmeline, who is seen in a flashback, appears to her and hangs herself from the stairway. As a mysterious figure attacks the maids, they start to vanish. Before realizing that Walter had been looking into Evie before she arrived, she finds herself being courted by him. She confronts him and makes threats to leave, but they make up and engage in sexual activity. At the rehearsal dinner, which the family hosts, Evie anticipates meeting the bride and groom for the first time. Instead, Walter declares that he and Evie will be getting married. A maid's throat is cut by the butler, Mr. Field, and her blood is then poured into a basin. It is later discovered that Walter, Lucy, and Victoria are all vampires who ingest the maid's blood. The Alexanders, one of the three families that have for ages each offered one of their ladies to become Walter's wife in exchange for safety and money, are the forebears of Evie. Emmeline was supposed to be Walter's third wife, but she ended up killing herself out of guilt over killing people, the death of her lover, Evie's great-grandfather, and her unborn son. Up until they discovered Evie, the Alexander family had difficulty locating a female member. Evie is crazed and locked into a coffin by Victoria, but Mrs. Swift frees her before being slain by Mr. Field. Evie finally reaches the town and approaches an elderly couple who are helping Walter but is knocked unconscious. When Evie awakens, she is with Dia, one of the servants, and Walter. When Walter recalls that he was formerly known as the son of the dragon, he confesses that he is indeed Dracula. Then Evie sees Walter bite into Dia's leg and pass out. Upon awakening, Evie is dressed for her wedding and is making her way down the aisle to marry Walter. She bites Walter's arm after they say their vows, ingesting his blood, and promptly changes into a vampire. She murders Walter by stabbing him in the heart, then runs away with Dia from the wedding ceremony. Victoria ambushes Evie in a fit of wrath, but Lucy steps in. Before Lucy drives Victoria and herself onto a spear and renders them both into ashes, the two brides battle. Mr. Field assaults Evie and disparages her mixed-race origins before she murders him. An elderly Walter then grabs her. He is kicked into the flames as she frees herself by slicing his wrist with a cheese wire. She returns to human form as he passes away, losing her powers as a result. 2 weeks later, Evie and Grace locate Oliver in London with the intention of assaulting him for betraying Evie in exchange for money.